Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well folks, things continue to go from bad to worse for Hillary Clinton. I have to admit, John Durham continues to beat expectations. I mean, we didn't have too many expectations for this guy to begin with. I mean, you might even say expectations were basically at zero, that nothing would happen, considering people like Hillary Clinton historically have never faced accountability for their actions. But every single month that passes by, it seems as though we are closer and closer and closer to John Durham actually getting to the bottom of this whole thing. I mean, it's absolutely astonishing that we're even here in the first place. The fact that there's even an investigation that is directly looking into the Hillary Clinton campaign, naming the Clinton campaign the DNC, Perkins Coie, Fusion GPS, Michael Sussman. We are in uncharted territory to begin with. But like I said earlier, this whole thing, this whole conspiracy, and not conspiracy theory, but rather conspiracy, is being exposed one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, and it just keeps getting better. Since the start, Donald Trump has called it a witch hunt, a hoax, a word that we've heard everybody saying is manufactured. This whole situation, this whole Trump collusion thing, the computer in Trump Tower and their connection to the Alpha Bank, well, that word right there, manufactured, might be the absolute perfect word to describe it all. Special counsel John Durham is now claiming that the information that Hillary Clinton's lawyer Michael Sussman brought to the FBI was not technically plausible and was user created, meaning they may have falsified evidence to create the illusion like there was communications or transactions between Trump Tower and Russia's Alpha Bank. And that makes this whole thing a whole lot more serious. And it's all trending in one specific direction: a manufactured plot to overthrow the President of the United States, to impeach him, to charge him criminally, and to undo the 2016 presidential election with lies and falsified evidence and information. Folks, this continues to be the biggest political scandal of our lifetimes, and ironically enough, the biggest political scandal of our lifetimes that nobody's talking about. So of course we will continue to fill that gap. We will fill that void. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, take a look at this headline right over here. Special counsel John Durham says Clinton lawyers' dirt on Trump's relationship with Russia is not, quote, technically plausible and is, quote, user created. The accusations of former President Donald Trump having a relationship with Russia that was provided by a Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer was, quote, not technically possible. Special counsel John Durham wrote in a court filing posted on Friday. Less than 2 months before the 2016 presidential election, Clinton lawyer Michael Sussman presented purported data and white papers that allegedly demonstrated a covert communications channel, as if Donald Trump was some sort of spy, between the Trump organization and the Kremlin-tied Alpha Bank to then FBI General Counsel James Baker. In February 2017, Sussman reportedly furnished an updated set of allegations about Trump working with Russia to the CIA. Durham outlined Sussman's involvement with the discredited anti-Trump dossier authored by ex-British intelligence agent Christopher Steele. Sussman allegedly met with Steele in the summer of 2016 at the law offices of Perkins Coie, where he informed Steele about the Alpha Bank allegations. Durham noted that the dossier's author was hired by Fusion GPS to dig up dirt on Trump for an unnamed US client, which of course, as we know, Christopher Steele then essentially identified Hillary Clinton or her campaign and the DNC as being that unnamed US client. The Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign reportedly funded the anti-Trump dossier through Perkins Coie. The fact that FBI headquarters received on the same date both sets of information involving the same political campaign, the Clinton campaign, the same law firm Perkins Coie, and the same investigative firm Fusion GPS makes Steele's involvement in these matters relevant, John Durham wrote. Michael Sussman is accused of lying to the FBI because he told the general counsel that he was not providing the allegations to the FBI on behalf of any client. According to the indictment, Sussman allegedly presented the damning accusations against Trump on behalf of the Hillary Clinton campaign. Durham claimed that Sussman represented and worked for the Clinton campaign in connection with his broader opposition research efforts and took steps to integrate the Russia Bank allegations into those operation research efforts by Fusion GPS. Fox News reported that Durham argued that the evidence is highly probative because it establishes that Sussman represented and worked for the Clinton campaign with its broader opposition research efforts. Sussman has pleaded pleaded not guilty and has sought for the case to be dismissed, but a judge denied the request, and Sussman is scheduled to go on trial on May 16th. Durham wrote in Friday's court filing, while the FBI did not reach an ultimate conclusion regarding the data's accuracy or whether it might have been, in whole or in part genuine, spoofed, altered, or fabricated, the CIA concluded in early 2017 that the Russian Bank 1 data and Russian phone provider 1 data was not technically plausible and did not withstand technical scrutiny, contained gaps, and conflicted with itself, and was user-created and not machine/tool generated. This right here is huge, folks. First of all, the fact that the CIA concluded this back in 2017 and we're only learning about this now just goes to show how corrupt the CIA and the FBI truly are. The evidence since the start did not withstand the lightest of scrutiny, yet it was still somehow enough to get a FISA warrant. What the CIA is essentially saying here is that the data that they provided to connect Donald Trump's server or computer system to Russian Bank 1 or Alpha Bank in Russia wasn't actually generated by a machine, meaning it wasn't a computer-generated log. Rather, it was manipulated by a user. They crafted this evidence, they tampered with this evidence, they fabricated the evidence to create this illusion that Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, Trump Tower, had a server that was in communication with the Kremlin's Alpha Bank. That takes this to a whole other level. It shows that there was malicious intent from the start. It's not as though you just had some curious individuals who just happened to stumble upon a claim from a computer expert with an interesting find tying Donald Trump to the Kremlin, a natural scandal. It's something that was manufactured, something that was created. The end result was to literally frame Donald Trump of one of the worst crimes you could imagine, at least in terms of its punishment, considering we all know the punishment for treason. The idea was, Donald Trump's a traitor, now how are we going to fabricate that? Not how are we going to prove that? Not we have evidence suggesting and let's try to dig, but let's fabricate this conclusion and then fabricate the evidence in order to arrive there. I don't know, folks, but this looks real bad for the DNC and possibly for Clinton if somehow this whole thing manages to turn on her. So far, like a good criminal organization, most of the people connected to Clinton, who could be viewed as the crime boss, so to speak, are doing exactly what you'd expect and not speaking. 5 Hillary Clinton associates are taking the 5th in Russia hoax prosecution. So we'll just have to see, but it seems as though those at the top of the Democrat establishment are getting a little bit nervous these days. All of a sudden, Barack Obama calls for more censorship, says the First Amendment does not apply to Facebook and Twitter. We also have Barack Obama, who seems to be doing all of these events about disinformation and censorship.
People like Putin, and Steve Bannon for that matter, understand it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt.
Hillary Clinton jumping on the same thing. For too long, tech platforms have amplified disinformation and extremism with no accountability. The EU is poised to do something about it. I urge our transatlantic allies to push the Digital Services Act across the finish line and bolster global democracy before it is too late. The first comment, this is coming from the lady who propagated the Russiagate conspiracy theory, absolutely Orwellian. And so it really makes you wonder, it really makes you think. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the EU and other globalist figures, as the wall continues to close on them all of a sudden, seem so focused on increasing tech censorship to bolster democracy, because apparently censorship and democracy go hand in hand. These people are absolutely corrupt, they are criminals, and hopefully accountability is coming. I guess we'll just have to see. And of course, I will keep you guys updated on all of it. For now though, that's what I got for you guys, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to get back to work. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.